Hi everybody, welcome to Carte Cooking Happy Hour. We have something special for you today. A lot of our viewers do have Vitamixes at home, so we wanted to teach you how to take almond milk from the very beginning all full circle so we waste nothing, and then we're going to turn our almond milk into an Almond Joy Cocktail. From the seed. Okay, so to begin, let's start with our almond milk. I have been soaking overnight half cup of almonds in 1.5 cups of water. Now I've rinsed it in my colander and filled this up with the appropriate amount of water. So you're gonna use 1.5 cups of water to half cup of almonds. So it is important, Wesley just asked, you have to soak it. Everything that I have ever read about making almond milk says that you should soak the nuts overnight. I think what is happening is you're soaking off some of the proteins that are on there that you don't want in almond milk. I'm not gonna lie, I 100% have made almond milk without soaking it. I'm sure somebody out there is going, that's a no-no. I did soak this one and I did rinse. So it might be like rice, like if you asked Grandma Mimi from the heavens above, she would tell you, you have to wash the rice until it comes out clear. So maybe the almond is the same kind of thing, that you have to let them soak until they're clean. So we're gonna dump in our almonds and our water. Half cup of, what? Oh, here's one. Half cup of almonds, 1.5 cups of water. I like to add in a little bit of vanilla. We're gonna add in a half teaspoon of vanilla to, oh, that was a very generous half teaspoon. We're gonna use that there. And then I'm gonna add in about 3.5 grams of sugar. This is 7 grams, that's why I say 3.5, because I did about a half of that. Okay, pop our lid on. No ice is needed for this. I'm gonna turn our Vitamix on, and I'm gonna run it on high until I see everything is kind of well blended. It's probably gonna take like 20 seconds, so let's give this a try. And you can see that nice milk consistency. Ooh, that's looking tasty. This is what we end up with, the almond milk. And I'm gonna give that about another 5 seconds. And I think that's good. Now here's a tip. If you ever have foam on top of your beverage or blend, if you run it on 1 and just kind of let the bubbles break up, the majority of the foam will break up. Now, if you're making bulletproof coffee, I know I'm kind of on a segue here, you probably want the foam, so leave the foam. Okay, there we go. So now we have our nut milk bag. We actually have these nut milk bags on our website. They're pretty great. We reuse them on a regular. So I've got my nut milk bag in here. I'm gonna pour, and you can see how creamy that is. Can you see that? I'm gonna pour this right in here. And I'm gonna show you how you have no waste when you make your almond milk. I know some people have said, well, you know, with the costs of almonds, it's more economical to buy it at the store. But if you're like me and you like to bake and you sub in almond flour, well, guess what? When you make your almond milk, and I just like to twist it just like this, and we're gonna save the almond meal. So you can see how much almond milk is coming out of the nut milk bag. This is pretty full. So just keep squeezing until you feel like you have all of the moisture out. And I'm gonna show you what this looks like after you've squeezed out all the almond milk. I think that's pretty good. And guys, this is really great to use in coffee in the morning too. If you make espresso or coffee and you're doing dairy free, excellent for that. You can drink it on its own. It's delicious in that. Or today we're gonna turn it into a cocktail. Okay, so now that I'm making a mess everywhere, we have our almond milk. And I will pour that into our pitcher here. Oh yeah, I got this. Leslie said, ooh, daring. Almost all in. And this will keep in the refrigerator for those of you that are wondering, okay, how long is that gonna keep in the fridge? This doesn't last very long in our house. It gets used pretty quickly, but 5 to 7 days. I would suggest using it within that time frame. This is this is a whole cup of almonds that we used, raw almonds, to make our almond milk. I have almond milk everywhere. Okay, so now let me show you what the meal looks like. So the meal that you have left over looks like this, right? It's kind of pasty. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that, I already have some dried, so we're gonna do some TV movie magic here, right? And swap things out. What I did was I went ahead and dried this for you in my little toaster oven on 200 for 2 hours. And it's nice and crunchy. So what I'd like to do is I'm gonna turn this into almond flour that I love to use in baking cookies, okay? So you wanna use a container that does dry and wet, or a dry container. The container that I used for the almond milk, that was just a wet container. The big wide containers can do both dry and wet. So if you're making flowers, this is the one you want to use. Okay, so let's pour our dried almond meal into here. And I'm gonna dry the rest of this onto here afterwards. So we'll set this aside. You can see our almond in here, and pop this on here. And this is pretty quick that we're gonna turn this into almond flour. Whirl it around in there. Almond meal. Woo! The little vents up top. And this is actually pretty coarse. I'm gonna run that longer to make almond flour. So let's do that again. I'm gonna cover the vents on top so that I don't get almond meal everywhere. We'll give that another, usually when Wesley makes semolina flour, he will run it on high, like we're doing now, for 1 minute. I'm not gonna run it quite for 1 minute, but we're gonna run it for 20 seconds. So that would put us at a total of 30. Okay, let's take a look. Ooh, there we are. Almond flour. So this goes into our cookies. And this is a nice almond flour consistency. All right, let's make our cocktail. Okay, we're gonna set this aside. And we are making an Almond Joy. We don't need the Vitamix for this. The Vitamix we used just for, oh my, there's almond everywhere. Okay, we're gonna make our Almond Joy. So you are going to need creme de cacao, coconut rum, and almond milk. Super easy. We're gonna stir this rather than shaking this. You could shake it if you wanted to, but we're gonna stir. And then let's go ahead and put some ice into our glass here. So we're gonna do 1 part coconut rum. In this case, we're gonna do 1 ounce. If you were making 2, you would do 2 ounces. Coconut rum, 1/2 ounce of your creme de cacao. 1/2 ounce of that. Followed by almond milk. I'm gonna do 2 ounces of almond milk. We're gonna stir and strain, and then we'll top with almond milk for the rest of the cocktail. All right, next I think I'm gonna add a little bit more ice to this glass. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna stir this. And I kind of think about stirring cocktails like I would like an old fashioned. You kind of just let the ice melt a little into it. If you wanted to shake this, you could. If you were using actual cream, it would create volume for you. So it really depends on the consistency that you're looking for in serving it. Okay, leave that there. We're going to strain our cocktail here. Oh, you know what would be really good with this? I didn't think about this till just right now. Shaved chocolate, right? Okay, Wesley, are you excited to try this? Oh my gosh, this smells like an Almond Joy. Holy cow, that's good. Oh my goodness, that's really good. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. You guys are seeing this on Mother's Day, so thank you for being here. That's so yummy. Do you taste Almond Joy? Are you familiar with the candy, Almond Joy?
A little bit, but I don't eat it very often. But
This is the adult Almond Joy. Oh, this is yummy. You could even maybe serve this with, although I don't know if it would get in the way, coconut flakes on top. Might be a little too crunchy, too in your teeth. Oh, this is yummy. You guys should make this. Thank you guys for tuning in. We covered a lot today. We covered almond milk from almonds into almond flour after you dry it into a cocktail. Who wants to say no to that? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You are watching. Oh yes, what's that again? Yes, please ask questions in the comments. Wesley was talking behind the camera. Thank you for running our camera today. Super appreciate you. Yes, if you have any questions, the recipe for the cocktail will be in the description, and then the ingredients for making the almond milk will also be in the description below, so check that out. Please hit that like and subscribe. We're working our way up to, this sounds so silly, but we're working our way up to 1,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate you. We'll see you next Sunday, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Thank you again.